Quick hits. Three things that we've seen in the news recently that I want to comment on. Some things that I'm sure many of you have seen. Our first one, global oil market is oversupplied. I've been saying this for a long time. We're hearing OPEC continuing to increase production. That, along with the U.S. trying to increase production. Iran is back, was not taken offline by the war in the Middle East. We know Iraq continues to produce. There doesn't seem to be a slowdown anywhere. And yeah, oil market oversupplied. We'll talk a little bit about that. Bank of Canada says inflation expectations are actually easing as businesses hold off passing tariff rates on to the consumer. Interesting. We saw that from GM the other day, talk about how they're swallowing some of the higher costs so that the end user or consumer is not feeling the higher prices. U.S. firms scrambling to secure rare earth magnets. Imports from China surging 660% recently. I guess that's because when things get turned off, you got to play catch up. And I think that's what's happened. And that's what we're seeing with our third point. So let's move to our first quick hit, which is the global oil markets. Our first chart here, pretty simple, shows the oil market, shows that it had a blip during the I guess the Middle East war, the war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. We saw a spike higher, but then once the war was over and we saw a ceasefire, that war premium came out of the price of oil, and oil has been okay, just above $65 a barrel for a little while. But I think there is a good possibility to see oil prices move lower as production remains high, as OPEC production increases, and as the fear premium that we've seen in some of these areas around the world comes out. And I think there's a lot of oil in the world today. Oil is produced. Yes, we could see some more growth in China, some more growth out of the U.S. with some of the U.S. policies. So perhaps that will be a positive for oil prices. But make no mistake about it, President Trump wants oil prices to fall, and he's going to do whatever he can to make that happen. And so for me, I think the price of oil is going to come down, I think below $60 a barrel shortly. Our second quick hit is the idea of the Bank of Canada saying inflation expectations are easing, which is interesting because we would have thought that prices would be going up. I think overall prices are going up, but businesses are doing whatever it takes to swallow as much of the increase as we can. And we are seeing margins be squeezed at a lot of these businesses. Our first chart shows Canadian firms indicate future sales are weak. So yes, we may not be seeing prices rise, but we're definitely seeing that sales are slowing down for sure in Canada. Obviously, the tariffs are taking having their toll on our economy and sales. Our next chart just shows you exactly how many firms and they're absorbing the tariff costs through their margins. And this is a great chart, actually, probably my favorite for the show. How is your business reacting to cost increases from trade tensions? Share of firms that said they are facing higher costs. And what are they doing? Well, some of them are reducing margins, finding efficiencies, changing prices for Canadian consumers, changing prices for U.S. consumers, finding new non-U.S. customers, and changing suppliers. So this is how many of Canadian businesses, or many of the businesses in Canada, are coping with these high tariff rates. Our third and final quick hit deals with this idea of the firms scrambling in the U.S. to pick up rare earth magnets, rare earth elements. And really, I think it's just about China was shutting out U.S. for a little while there. And so the backlog of rare earth elements was quite large. And now that China is back shipping rare earth magnets to the U.S., we're seeing a surge, quite a large surge. Our chart that we have, the one chart for this really shows the surge. Exports to the U.S. tumbled in April and May, but you can see here how they've surged in June. not back where March was, or February, or even January, but really starting to pick up. And again, I think that the U.S. Traded, I guess, or during the negotiation said, we'll give you chips if you give us these rare earth elements. And I think that was the deal in some form. And now we're seeing it come to fruition. And the rare earth elements, once again, are being shipped and taken in by the United States in quite a large quantity.